I was 9 years old, and I was, I'd be at my aunts and uncles, well, at my grandmother's and my step grandfather's 8-acre farm just outside of Auburndale. And so one of their friends died in a tragic car accident. There was 9 of them piled up in a car, if I remember. And 2 of them died, 7 lived. And my son's good friend Heath Moore, it was his would have been his aunt that he never met. And the other was named Jerry Hargrove. And I remember he had a crushed chest. They were flying down Lake Mattie Road. And they were flying down Lake Mattie Road. So there's Lake Mattie. And it's right off 559. I got married right there at that Town Manor, if you remember that bed and breakfast. But it was right here on this Lake Mattie Road. And there were orange groves all in through here. And somewhere down this road was where the car flipped and rolled. And I'd never seen a dead body before. And for some reason, I went to the viewing. My mom took me to the viewing. My mom didn't even know these people. But I knew the guy. He was a redheaded guy, and I knew him through my aunt and uncle. And it was the first time death had entered my life. No relatives had died or anything. And so I was 9, and the hit song of the time was Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Civic Vision. And that song had like a very melancholy, I don't know, so I saw my first dead body. I went to a viewing, and that song was a hit. For some reason, that song has stuck in my head as a certain song that resonates in my body more than any other song. And so it resonates in your spirit. And we know that, Lucifer, Satan, music, and of course, God has his role in all of that also, because it's through Satan's world where we become his. And the Great Tribulation is for the church. The Antichrist is for the final age of the church. So I watched this thing called Hitsville, The Making of Motown. Excellent documentary. It really takes me back, and it's for my flesh, and I just ate that stuff up. And I was like, boy, I guess, they're covering Diana Ross and the Supremes. But they, sorry, I'm sitting here cooking. But, so it's a 1970 album. I was 9 years old. And there's Diana Ross. I guess we'll bring her up. And there's the album that says American singer Diana Ross. It featured US #1 hit, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. So it was a #1 hit song. You with me? And Baby Love, Baby Love, Love Child. Where did our love go? Come see about me. Where is Amy? There it is. Her debut album featured US #1 hit, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. And music anthem, Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. It was followed by, okay. So Ain't No Mountain High Enough did go #1. We bring it up. It was originally done by, now it came out April 20th. There's that April 20th stuff again. And the original length was 2:28. Now I've got a 6-minute version on YouTube. Here's the 6-minute version right here. And I don't know what Michael thinks about any of this, but
Batman can fight crime, but only
yes, Batman can fight crime. I love the way the AI put that commercial up there for us. So so you can tell the melancholiness of it. For a 9-year-old child is going to see his first dead body, or has seen his first dead body. I remember the smell of the embalming. The smell stuck with me for years. This was the #1 hit song at the time, or was on the charts at the time. And as you're going through, they were like, well, they never hit my song. They never hit, my favorite song, but that's okay. They did cover the Supremes, but they ended up at the closing of the show. There it was. I was like, well, that's perfect. My song with my favorite record company as a child, Motown, all the soul music was by far my favorite type of music. And as a kid growing up, and even the Stylistics, other groups that weren't from Motown, but I don't think the Stylistics were from Motown. The Stylistics, Motown. Shop Stylistics, Motown. I don't think they were the Legend of Motown. Yeah, they weren't. Yeah, they were from Philadelphia. And the Sound of Philadelphia was another big soul music type. Wasn't LA, that came later with rap, but they ended the show. So I put it up on TS Sports only because it's my very small channel. I usually will not copyright strike you there. I tried to put it up on Telling Truth 3, which has over 100 views, and it's partially blocked. But it does now come up. That's good. So it now pops up in the Telling Truth 3. It's got 2 views there. So you can watch it and see how the show ended with my all-time favorite song, which the original version did come out on April 20th. So I was wanting to know if Michael wanted to look at Hitsville, USA. Like, did the Ghost in the Machine orchestrate all of that music and center it there on purpose? Does Berry Gordy and all of that come up to Trump and Gematria and all of that? So there's Hitsville, USA, something to Gematria. There's Berry Gordy, something to Gematria. There's Motown, something to Gematria. If you wanted to do Ain't No Mountain High Enough, that's totally up to you. Or Diana Ross and the Supremes. But no song ever hit me like Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross and the Supremes. So I would be curious. But was that an organic, grassroots, legitimate Berry Gordy and Hitsville, USA? And if the Gematria does not come up to it, we would assume the Ghost in the Machine did not lay it all out for them, that they were just connected people and actors, and, obviously gifted entertainers that were sent there, groomed there. However, it's very difficult sometimes to figure out were things brought in spiritually by Satan through the spirit world, because if you're of your father, the devil, you're of the spirit world automatically. Whether the Ghost in the Machine had to write it out for you, or you just channeled spirits and were able to do things like these child prodigies, so on and so forth. That's like saying, are all child prodigies clones, or is the spirit just entering into them and working magic? So, and it doesn't mean Gematria can't hit when it's spiritual. Do you follow what I'm saying? Like this, a lot of this Gematria, I tell Michael, is written by the Ghost in the Machine. That's how it all lines up. Some of it could also be lined up through this, just through the organic spirit world, not just spitting out, coming out on, like I tell people, if you're new, the Ghost in the Machine writes your movies, your movie scripts, your books, wrote Harry Potter. They have front people that do all this where they put a face and a name to it. Just like the guy that was the front man for Apple Computers, Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs, that whole Apple thing, bite out of the apple, you know, Garden of Eden, Ghost in the Machine. This was all pre-planned. This wasn't an organic. They make movies about Steve Jobs. So since I got really hooked into this Hitsville USA documentary and have always been spiritually connected to the song, you know, sadly, I'm sure, through death, my first experience with death. I'm just wondering if Michael wanted to do some gematria on it, and that's about it. And that's why you do see that. Well, it's gone on Telling Truth 3 now. It is up and running. It is partially blocked. It's blocked in certain countries. They blocked it. But yeah. Anyway, love y'all very much.